Yeah, I mean, kind of a weird day, because there's been a lot of emotions this week. Really great emotions, and then just really a low of lows, with coming off the loss at Houston. So I think right now, our team is just going through the normal ups and downs that come with being a part of one of the best conferences in the country. And we're learning a lot about ourselves. I'm learning a lot about this team, and um, I've got to do a better job at managing success and prosperity. I think that was something that, reflecting back on that Houston game, I'm really understanding that I can be better for them. So right now, I mean, we've got to keep perspective that we have a really great thing going, and ultimately we've only lost 3 games, but that last one hurt really bad, and now we got to find a way to bounce back and get back on the right track.
When you talk about figuring out how to manage success, I think was the phrase you used. Is that something you kind of have to learn with each team, how they're going to react to those moments?
Sure. Yeah. No. Definitely. I mean, and each team is different, and I think it's so much easier to motivate your team when you feel like you have something to prove or there's a chip on your shoulder. That's why it's so hard for teams to consistently sustain success, and I think it's human nature to kind of relax when you feel like you've had that success. And that's what I didn't do a very good job of. I tried. I thought that I was managing that, but I wasn't, clearly. So, I've got to be better for them at keeping them hungry and keeping them on edge. And the reality is our kids haven't had this success. And that just is what it is, I mean, I think, what did I see? Since 2018, that was the last time that we've been ranked. And, we have a lot of kids in the portal, or that we got from other schools, that aren't used to this success, and they're, haven't played at this level. There's a whole lot of factors that go into it. And that's something that, as a staff, we got to figure out and be a lot better to help our kids.
Not to give excuses, and I'm sure you prepared for Houston, the players, but you walked into a setting where, I mean, I was watching on TV, there was nobody there.
Yeah.
They had to count the custodians to get the number they had on the score sheet for the attendance. You got to bring your own energy to the party.
Yeah, no doubt. That was actually a slide that we showed in film, and we had that exact title, Bring Your Own Energy. It's unfortunate. I hate that for them. I wish that they had more fans, because those kids play so hard, and obviously have a great thing with their men's team. And so I wish that it were better on the women's side, but it's definitely changes, the atmosphere. And I don't know. I mean, but it's a part of being on the road, and you just got to find ways, because whether it's trying to quiet a crowd of 10,000 people or just being in an empty gym, you got to find ways to not let your energy dip off.
What? I know that the Houston game is the most recent result, so that's kind of fresh in everyone's mind. But before that, you get a huge win against West Virginia. And I think you matched your win total from last season already. I guess, can you talk about what you think the biggest differences are between this year's team and last year's team, maybe on and off the court?
Sure.
If you want to go there?
Yeah, it's a really simple answer. Number one, we've got the right kids. We've got high character kids. We have kids that are willing to work. We have kids that are willing to do things the right way, both on the floor and off the floor. So our culture is really, really strong. And the second one is just, we've got the depth this year. We didn't have that last year, whether that be from injuries or people not being on the team by the end of the season that originally started on the team. So I think those two things are just the really obvious answer for me. And I learned a ton last year, about just depth and how important that is to have. And I think we had a really kind of just crazy season last year in terms of things being out of our control that you just can't really see coming. But I learned a lot that now knowing, hey, just in case you have 4 season-ending injuries or whatever it is, like, you still got to prepare for that. And I think our staff did an incredible job of going out, finding the right kids from the right types of families, and then just giving us a lot more depth.
One thing in that regard, too, that I noticed, take Staley out of the equation because she's a different cat, so to speak. But whether they start or come off the bench, and some have done some of both, they're playing the same way. Sometimes players don't play the same way when they're a starter versus a bench player. But you're getting that.
Yeah, no, you know, we were just able to really recruit better to our style. That was another thing last season because of our lack of bodies. We were just forced to play this really slow pace that I'm not very good at coaching. You know, we were trying to survive, and now we're able to really thrive and do what we want to do. And so we found kids that fit that style and understand this is what we do, and they wanted to be a part of that system. So it's been great to, you know, really just kind of be able to come in waves. When we're at our best, I think we've been able to come at people in waves, meaning that when we sub, it's just another wave, the same pace, that there's no drop off. And then of course there's games where you're not going to have everyone playing at their best, or maybe because of matchups or whatever, or foul trouble, it doesn't work out that way. But then also that's where we've been able to find wins where maybe some games it's our starters and maybe some games it's our bench. But again, that just speaks to our depth.
Whether it was the locker room after the game or the trip home, have you liked the response that the girls have showed?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, our character, our culture is really, really strong, and you know, there's no one more disappointed than our players right now in their response in the Houston game. And so that's what I love about this team. You know, you want to find, what I learned kind of the hard way is just how important it is to have people that, of course, you want to win with, but maybe more important that you're okay losing with, because you're not going to win every game. You know, that's just very unrealistic. And so I feel like we've got the right kids, and kids that, you know, even when things are at a low point and it's hard and it's sucky to lose, you like who you're fighting with, you like who you're rolling with, and there's no doubt that we've got the right kids.
What stands out about UCF?
Yeah, a team that is kind of trying to figure out their identity in terms of who's playing and who's not. They look very different depending on that. But they've got one of the best scorers in the league in Caitlin Peterson, and she's a heck of a player. We're going to have team defense on her. But honestly, this game is about getting back to us. We need to fix some things, and today in practice is going to be our first chance to do that. And I'm really excited just to get back to cowgirl basketball right now.
Does it help? I mean, not putting down UCF, but they're also looking for their first win in conference. Does it help that you saw that, you know, in Houston, and now you say, hey, we got to make sure that we treat these people like they're the Harlem Globetrotters or the LA Lakers or whatever,
Right.
Be prepared.
Definitely. You know, it's one thing to say it. I mean, in reflecting back on our preparation for Houston, I think we said all the right things. You know, when you get that ranking, you get that number beside your name, the target is as big as ever. And especially for those teams who are hungry to win a conference game, or, you know, just win in general, you're kind of the other team's Super Bowl. And you can say that, but until you feel that, it's a little different. And I expect our kids' response to be a lot different for UCF.